Before we get started with today's video, I have an announcement to make. After years of telling other people's stories, I finally released one of my own. My novel Eternal Reign is available now in both ebook and paperback format for those of you who are like me and prefer to collect physical media. You can grab a copy right now on Amazon through the link in the description of this video. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. With all of the work the Warrior of Light has done for Tataru's business, people have been ordering her products like crazy. In other words, Tataru's about to be super rich, and employees from Thavnir have become super busy. Some of them, like Radz-at-Han, have been working behind the scenes doing things like shipping products and stuff, so it's not all that often that you'll see them around the shop. And it's gotten worse for the staff since the business is doing so well. Some of the employees do think that the rise of business may not be the best thing, since Tataru's products are built to last, which means once people buy them, there's really no reason to come back. That kind of thinking shows why Tataru's in charge, because she undoubtedly has some ideas on how to keep her old customers happy. Since she's been getting to watch Tataru work up close and personal, Medina thinks that she's come up with a few ideas of her own. She wants to make new uniforms for the researchers around Sharlayan, and she told Tataru about this potentially untapped market. But the Lalafell wasn't all that excited about the idea. She told Medina to do some more research and tell her what she finds out about this whole new market. But the shy woman has been procrastinating a bit. Plus, random people can't just go around Sharlayan questioning people, since the place doesn't really give people free reign to do whatever they want when they feel like it. They wouldn't even let her into Labyrinthos at all, so she decided that the Studium would be the best place to talk to some of the researchers. She set up an appointment, but she's scared to go, so the Warrior of Light, who is never too busy to do unpaid labor, agrees to go with her, and Radz-at-Han comes along so he can figure out what supplies he'll have to get to make this new batch of gear. It only takes a little bit of conversation with a few people to realize why Tataru never bothered trying to make products for the researchers. There are so many different fields of study and each one has unique wants and needs, so there's no one-size-fits-all bit of Studium gear that can be made, so it'll take way too much time and effort to make gear that'll only work for a handful of people, which means there's no profit in it, and if there's no profit, Tataru won't do it. Medina's kinda bummed that the idea didn't work, but Radz-at-Han's pretty sure that Tataru told her to look into it so she can understand what it means to fail something. That's also something that the Hanish people's religion always taught them. Hardship builds character, and that type of thinking is what got them through the final days. The fact that she hadn't even thought about applying the teachings from her own religion since she's been surrounded by all of these different cultures of Sharlayan bothers Medina a bit. It's like she's been losing a part of herself ever since she left home. Radz-at-Han feels the same way, and he thinks it may be time for them to go back to Thavnir. They've been sending money back home to help rebuild after all of the damage that came from the final days, but that's not a real substitute for being there and helping their people in person. Since it's really bothering them, they decide to talk to Tataru about it. When Medina tells Tataru about her failed mission, it turns out that the whole mission was in fact an experiment to let the woman see what it feels like to fail. That way she can build a better business mind in the future. As for their homesickness, Tataru understands, and she doesn't feel like they're betraying her by wanting to go home. Turns out she's sending stuff to Finalizing anyway, so that'll be the perfect opportunity for the two of them to go home and decide whether or not they want to stay for good or come back and work. Of course she wants you to handle the delivery because of course she would use you to do work whenever you're around. So the three of you hop back over to Thavnir after you all check on the progress of Tataru's secret gift. With all of the stuff you collected on your trips, all that's left to do is to get the thing put together, and it should be done by the time you all get back. When you get to Radz-at-Han, Medina and Radz-at-Han take a bit of time to walk around the city before you all head back to their village. The elder is happy to see them and to hear how well they've been treated. Radz-at-Han's happy to see that stuff hasn't changed all that much since he's been gone, and his worries about coming home and feeling out of place didn't come true. He did feel guilty for abandoning his people, but the elder said that he should have never felt like he abandoned them by going away, especially since he keeps sending them money. In all honesty, him being there in person wouldn't have helped all that much, since there's really no hope of restoring the village. Too many people died during the final days for it to ever go back to the old days. They have to all grow and change, but they don't really know what they can become. Their original purpose had been to maintain their holy sites around Thavnir, but they realized when stuff got bad that they weren't really equipped for that. But they do have traditions that they have to keep relevant and pass on, so they have to figure out how to do that in this post-final days world. Most of the villagers are also craftsmen, and with their skill, unique style, and having so many of their people spread around the world after they fled during the final days, Medina, putting some of Tataru's business training to work, comes up with a plan to get the people of Finalizing partnered with Tataru's shop. If they could use their connections to sell Hanish amulets around the world, they could bring a steady source of income to the village and get things to their people that'll remind them of their home and heritage no matter where they are. It's a good idea if Tataru approves of it, so you all head back to Charlene to see if the woman likes it enough to sign off on it. When you make it back to the city, the necklace is ready, so you all head off to meet Tataru to give her a gift and to hit her with Majina's idea. She thinks the idea is a great way to expand her business, which means it can make her money, so it's perfect. And since the trip helped them get over their homesickness, Majina and Radz-at-Han are ready to get back to work after you all give Tataru a gift. When she sees that it's her mother's gemstone, she's super excited since she thought she'd never see it again. It was part of a family heirloom that her grandmother had given to her mother on her wedding day, and one that her mother had been planning on giving to her. But when her dad's business went under, they had lost that along with everything else. Losing everything had ended up being the best thing that could have ever happened to her, because it made her take a job that had her meet a young miner named Menphilia, who invited her to join the Path of the 12, which eventually led to all of the adventures that she's been on with you and the Scions. And just because you're heading off to the other side of the world doesn't mean your days of adventuring together are over, because she plans on using you again when she inevitably expands her business to the new world. This concludes the story of Tataru's grand endeavor. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, comment, share it, and subscribe. Donate to the channel if you can, and I'll see you all next time.